Well, there are only a few things you can do under 1 second, like popping this can. But what if I told you you could go from 0 to 97 kilometers an hour in just 0.7 milliseconds? You wouldn't believe me, would you? Well, check this out.
But it doesn't just happen. For one, you need a machine powerful enough to pull such a mammoth feat, something that's capable of withstanding metal bending power without falling apart. The weapon of choice is a 1584cc inline 4-cylinder Gulf Racing top fuel motorcycle. With over 3 Gs on acceleration, more than what an astronaut experiences on takeoff, this two-wheeler also requires a true master, a bit like the lanky mahout that controls an elephant to precision. In this case, it's 5-time European top fuel bike champion Ian King.
I'm honoured to be here because I have to say this is probably the highlight of my career, having the opportunity to show something to people who really have never seen anything like this before. I think the main thing to say is that although we have a bike that's operating at the very top of the sport in the most powerful class in drag racing, drag bike racing, it doesn't really matter that you don't have a race vehicle. You can take your normal everyday bike or scooter that you take to work. There can be a class for it and you can race each other. Well, before the race itself, there's a lot of between race preparation. We have to, check the maintenance of the bike, make sure everything's perfect, all that sort of thing. But at the race itself, what we do is we always start the bike up and basically go through it, just make sure all the functions are working correctly, put fuel in it, put the oil in it, and then we go ahead, run the bike just to make sure it's running properly. We check all the air with the air computer, see how much oxygen there is. Then we can modify the fuel system to match the air conditions or the heat. It's not about being the fastest and the quickest, it's about getting to the end first. So your reactions have to be absolutely spot on. As soon as the green light comes on, you have to go. And the thing is, to hone those skills just comes from practice. But I have to say, there isn't really anything I can explain to tell you how it feels, because no other vehicles, cars or anything else I've ridden or driven gives me the same experience of this. We're pulling 3G off the line, which is much more than just about any other form of motorsport. We're also being shot almost out of a cannon when we leave the line. So it's very hard to say, but it's quite a rush.
Now just how is that jaw-breaking, neck-crunching feeling achieved? Let's put it this way. With a purpose-built Puma engine, aluminium cases and a billet steel crankshaft, this supercharged machine can intake over 430 liters of air and fuel into the engine per second. Put that into context, and it's equivalent to emptying 2,580 water bottles in 6 seconds, the amount of time the run actually lasts. This Super God machine is capable of speeds up to 402 kilometers per hour in under 6 seconds, making it the fastest accelerating two-wheeler on Earth. So if put together on the same track, Ian would surely get his kicks from leaving Formula 1 cars and even an F-14 jet far behind in the rearview mirror. If that's got you excited enough, then it's time you should just sit back. We forgot to mention, don't blink. But if you did, here it is again.
Well, that was Ian King, 5-time European drag racing champion. Well, the rubber is still hot, my ears are still deaf, but I'm going back with a new belief that machines can do extraordinary things.